Little disclaimer before we intro the podcast. Yesterday, when we were recording this,
someone forgot to press record.
I forgot to press the record button. So we have already recorded this episode, but we are now re-recording it for the second time. So with that out of the way, I hope you enjoy the episode. Welcome to Sunseeing Cyanide, a podcast in which me, Billy Hotchkiss, and my co-host, Lauren Donahue, rewatch and review Death in Paradise from the very beginning. One of us has never seen the show before, and the other has watched all 11 series. Will we be able to solve the murders, stand the heat, and most importantly, stay on topic? How's your week been this week?
Well, I got annoyed with Midsummer because I had to order a physical copy to get to watch the director's cut, so I was not happy.
I'm not a horror films person.
I wouldn't. I know it is in the genre of horror, but I don't think it's that scary. It's more gore.
Psychological. It's like,
yeah.
No, I can't do gore. No, I can't do gore.
It is quite an interesting film though, because when I'm watching it, I'll notice like new stuff that's going on while I'm watching it. So it's quite an interesting film. So.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take that recommendation. I won't watch that.
Fair. I will say one of the horrific things about the film is that it's set in like the warmest summer in Sweden, which isn't great. For people.
Back to the weather.
Yeah, there we go.
It always goes back to the weather.
Yeah. A lot of murder in it as well. So.
Is that your segue into the show?
Segue.
What did you think of the episode?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah. Not as much as the previous episodes, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember saying I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was a classic Death in Paradise, but I guess I was fine. My statement is it's fine.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you that episode two is just so good that the episode after it kind of
it falls flat almost.
Can't compare.
Yeah.
Before we begin, as always, the synopsis of the episode. Predicting Murder is the third episode in Series 1 of Death in Paradise. When a woman not only predicts her own murder, but also gives a description of the murderer, it all feels too easy for D.I. Richard Poole. Can a case from the past help solve the present-day murder? And more importantly, can Richard convince the team that it has nothing to do with voodoo spirits?
Dun, dun, dun. It was quite. This one was quite easy to solve, in my opinion, as well. Because I got it in the first 15 minutes. So.
Yeah, I did remember. Obviously, because you haven't seen the show, and I have seen the show.
Yeah.
But when I say I have seen the show, I saw the show as a child. So when I did rewatch the episode, I did remember that she'd kill herself.
Yeah.
But not till pretty much halfway through, I think. So I think maybe, I don't know, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing that I forgot it.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know.
Because I did figure it out quite early on in the episode, so I don't know.
Oh, good for you.
I know, I just want to brag about that.
It gave me very Scooby-Doo vibes.
Yeah, it was
maybe
very
that's just the voodoo stuff.
Yeah, maybe, but it was very Scooby-Doo.
The Scooby-Doo movie. Spooky Island.
Yeah.
Which is that's definitive Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that is the pinnacle of Scooby-Doo.
It was very there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe that's my Western view of voodoo. It's just Scooby-Doo.
Maybe, yeah. My thing of voodoo is with American Horror Story, because there's a
the
witches coven,
yeah.
coven with the
Papa Legbear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then we also had to do a lesson on Papa Legbear in English in high school. Many moons ago.
Yeah, so the episode since this is a recap podcast, we need to recap the episode. The episode opens with a voodoo ceremony, as we've talked about, and Dwayne is in the audience. The voodoo priestess predicts her own murder and that she will be silenced by a scarred man who was killed before. Everyone runs away scared.
Yeah.
Was it scary?
I
It's
feel
theatrical
like
more
yeah,
than scary.
theatrical. Watching it from the show's perspective. If you were like in the audience, you might be a little bit freaked out that she's being so intense about it. But yeah,
it was camp.
Yeah.
We cut to the police station, and Poole is talking about something to do with ice cubes and fans.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but this felt to me like it would be important later.
Yeah, they have done that quite a bit, and I do enjoy it because it's like, oh, you've got to keep guessing about like which part's going to be relevant for him to figure out what happened.
Yeah, because in the previous 2 episodes, like episode 1 was about his luggage, and that played into the killing, and then the second episode, how bright it was, played into the murder, and this one set up a thing that Paul didn't like about the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Amongst basically everything else.
Yeah.
And that didn't play into it.
Yeah.
Which felt weird to me. I prefer it when all elements of the story interconnect. And when you're at the end and everything mattered, it feels more satisfying television viewing.
Yeah, I think it might have just been like characterization because we know that Paul doesn't like
the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this episode heavily plays on the fact that he hates the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then there's a call to the police station. A body's been found at Notre Dame School. It's been poisoned. We go, and it is the voodoo priestess.
There we go.
And she predicts her own murder. She is dead.
Yeah.
Cut to titles. Set up intrigue you?
Quite intriguing, yeah. I would say, just because, oh my god, she's predicted her murder and now she's actually dead. What?
Yeah, it's quite an original setup.
Yeah. It was intriguing though.
Oh, it was very Jonathan Creek, locked room mystery. I think I said that about episode 1.
Maybe.
That it was
I think you did
Creek
mention
locked room.
Yeah, I think you did mention that.
Maybe we should be doing a Jonathan Creek podcast. Yeah, I mean, it intrigued me enough to continue watching. We're then introduced to the main suspect, who is Mr. Dunham, who she was drinking rum with in the school. He also has a scar on his face.
Suspicious.
Are you suspicious of him?
When I watched it, I was a little bit wary of the victim because it was a bit too convenient that she had predicted her murder and then, oh my god, she's actually died. So that's how I clocked on that, oh, she probably killed herself. But my theory originally was that she stole his key to the medicine the chemical cabinet and poisoned herself. But how did the key get back into his jacket? So
yeah, it was that's the thing that was very Jonathan Creek about it, that there was one bottle of cyanide in the cupboard and it was locked and only he had the key, which obviously puts all suspicion on him.
Yeah, definitely.
I was surprised that you just have rum in your desk.
Yeah, just casually, teachers just
and
casually
also
got
as the
rum in his
headmaster,
desk.
as the, obviously to get the whole school thing, they didn't have an office.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
That obviously that's just a nitpick.
Yeah.
But he had a secretary, but didn't have an office, and he kept all his belongings in a classroom.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Anyway, at this point, we learned the victim is called Angelique, and she is the headmaster's mother-in-law. Her daughter died. Was it 10 years ago?
15, wasn't it?
Well, let's say 15 years ago. she had been poisoned by a cyanide, which we've mentioned, which was locked in the cabinet with one key. It's nice that cyanide smells of almonds.
Yeah.
I wrote that in my notes.
And that
just
almonds,
like marzipan.
Yeah, that's what you was. Yeah. Fun fact.
Fun, yeah. It was a nice fun fact. Let smell nice as you die horribly.
Yeah.
But also, do schools just have cyanide in them?
I mean, I don't know if English schools are allowed things like cyanide and stuff, but I don't know how it is in summary.
In San Marie, in the fictional place of San Marie, they have lax laws where they're allowed to have poison.
Yeah, where murder is running rampant on that small island.
There is murder once a week, so I'd imagine that they're allowed to just have cyanide.
Yeah, just yeah.
Because anyone can buy a knife, cyanide. That market just sells guns.
Yeah, just casual market with the guns. Yeah,
just because murder is the biggest economy in the fictional island of San Marie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it feels weird that they just have cyanide. Because I know
in the front of all the other chemicals as well. Because you're like, oh, there it is there.
Oh yeah, it was right at the front of the shelf.
Yeah.
Because I know in British schools they're allowed like some dangerous stuff, like some acids
not cyanide though.
No, well, I mean in my school they had like this lead box thing, and inside it was like a radioactive substance.
That doesn't feel safe to have in a school, but
no. And they got it out to be like this. Here's how a Geiger counter works or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But that just didn't feel safe. That it was like, oh, behind that door there is radiation. Because if you were an evil bully, that's where you go first.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think our lesson on like radiation and stuff like that came from history and then a PowerPoint in science, because like obviously teenagers, you're not going to trust them with radioactive material and a Geiger counter. So
I mean, I wouldn't trust them with a Bunsen burner, but you know.
Yeah, true.
At this point, we're introduced to the other suspects, who are the secretary, the handyman, and the priest, who's called Father Charles, and it's him who's discovered the body. What do you think about those characters? Were you suspicious of them at any point?
I honestly wasn't very suspicious of anyone throughout the episode, just because
you'd already solved it.
So I was just
because you were Poirot.
I was just trying to piece everything together to like make my theory more concrete.
Yeah, right. I don't think I was suspicious of any of them.
Yeah, no.
Actually, no. I was suspicious of the priest.
Yeah.
But that was towards the end. That I doubted my own memory, and I was like, maybe it is the priest, because there's definitely a priest that kills someone in this show.
Yeah, just not this episode.
Just not this. So be ready to be suspicious of all priests from now on.
Spoiler alert for me, but hey.
Yeah, the secretary had no motive at all, and the handyman was a non-entity. He was something for Dwayne and Fidel to like.
Yeah. He was almost like a side suspect that, it could be this person, but it's not.
Yeah, like in episode 1 where there was that butler who did nothing but like was a speaking character.
Yeah.
I think the show moves past that at a certain point. It is easier when there is like only like 2 people.
Yeah, because you've only got to decide between those 2.
And also the handyman was dressed like a minion.
Interesting note.
He was dungarees and a yellow shirt.
Just missing the goggles.
He was wearing glasses.
Oh my god. Oh yeah.
Oh
my god.
This was released in 2011, which is pre-Minion.
Whoa.
There is only pre and post Minion, and this was pre-Minion, so it wasn't an active choice. Correction. Despicable Me came out in 2010.
Anyone in Death in Paradise, a fan
so
of
yeah,
Illumination.
No. So I am wrong. So this is the world post Minion.
Yeah.
The minions don't feel that old.
No. It kind of feels like the minions have been around forever though, because like I remember like Facebook and just being filled with mums reposting like minions memes and everything.
Mm.
Oh, it was a
I saw the
terrible
minions.
time.
I saw the Minions film in cinemas. You know the one that
think
was
I
just
did
about the
as well.
minions.
Yeah, I think I did as well. For like a school trip or something.
That was a mistake.
It was.
It was like a silent film
Yeah.
because they all spoke Minionese.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of foreign languages, at this point, Poole makes it known that he doesn't believe in voodoo at all, and that also he hates the French.
Good segue.
Thank you. Yeah, so again, we have another bit about Poole hating the French,
Yeah.
which I remember us really hating.
Yeah. It's
first
it's
time.
getting a lot worse the more the more
Yes,
that Poole
yeah.
like plays into I hate all foreigners, and it's just not.
But luckily, he is put in his place
Yeah.
by icon Catherine.
Queen
Catherine, Queen of Saint Marie. We then go to Catherine's bar, icon Catherine,
Yeah.
where Catherine tells us that Dunham's wife was having an affair, and he begged her not to leave. She couldn't cope with being pulled in different directions between Dunham and her lover. In murder mystery language, her body was never found, which means she
Yeah.
was 100% murdered.
I did like watching them. Well, like when they were talking about like how she committed suicide. I did think it was a bit weird that her motive for suicide was that she just couldn't decide between the two men. That is a bit.
She was
of
a bit
weird,
picky.
Yeah, that is a bit of a weird motive for suicide. But I don't think I thought much of it when
Yeah.
I was watching it until they said, "Oh, the body was never recovered."
This is where the whole he hates voodoo comes to a head.
Yeah.
And Catherine puts him in his place.
Icon.
But the quote is, he says God is certainly English.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I said it the first time we did this, and I'm gonna say it again. Christianity is rooted in paganism, so stop.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
All religions are rooted from somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't know, 2011, and the character of Poole, who is the original detective, is rooted in all the kind of the main stereotypes of being British.
Yeah.
And sadly, one of those is that I don't know, xenophobia.
Yeah. It's just
Which doesn't make him a likeable character at all.
No.
It makes Catherine a great character.
Yeah, Catherine's great.
And it's no insult on the writing, because the characters of Camille and Catherine totally like outbalance it.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't make me like the central character at all.
Yeah, if you're gonna pick stereotypes, at least like balance out like how much he hates. Like maybe don't put him like so far from hating just every other like culture that isn't English. Maybe don't do that.
Catherine also tells us that Father Charles was the lover. Did you see that coming?
I didn't. Definitely not, because he's a son of the Lord.
Son of the Lord, yeah.
So that's like the last thing you
Famously.
expect from a man like him, because he's
Well, they say
breaking
Jesus
up a
had a
marriage.
wife.
Just
Obviously,
the one, or?
that's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
In it, there's Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, that she was like the first prostitute.
But isn't that
though,
like the
wasn't
Da
she?
Vinci Code? She wasn't the first prostitute.
Well, she was a prostitute though, wasn't she?
She wasn't the first. She
Not
was not the first prostitute.
Notable prostitute.
She invented prostitution. So much so that she had to be referenced in the Bible.
Yeah.
I can't remember why, because we watched the episode ages ago. But we finally decide to arrest Dunham.
Because he was lying about his alibi.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Because he said he was at the market and they followed up on that, and obviously he wasn't at the market. He was at an orphanage giving computers to
in
an
the fakest alibi ever.
Run by nuns, by the way.
Yeah. Why lie?
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing to lie about as well. Like, you don't even have to say that you're giving computers to an orphanage.
Why
Just say
lie?
that you were
How
helping
is that
out.
illegal? He was like, it's illegal, I couldn't tell you.
I think it was something to do with the computers being stolen or something. Something to do with
Who's
that.
going to arrest you over giving needy kids devices?
I know, I don't...
You know what I'm going to do? When a woman is found dead in my classroom and all the evidence points to me, I'm going to lie about my alibi because the consequences of that are less than the consequences of anyone finding out that I helped needy children.
Yeah. Oh, Dunham was just a bit of a prick, really, wasn't he?
Understatement.
To put it eloquently, bit of a prick.
Yes. So the commissioner then says he was the investigating officer for his wife's for Dunham's wife's disappearance. Her name is Delilah, by the way.
Yeah.
And he said they even dug up his patio, which means that's important. It means murder mystery speak means the patio is the key. I mean, all the evidence is pointing to Mr. Dunham, and Mr. Dunham seems like an evil person.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's a murderer. But also in this scene, they mention that poison is a woman's weapon, which is the only indication that it could be the secretary as the killer. As a woman, would you use poison?
Well, I do know. History lesson for you. Serial killer Julia Tofana had a business selling poison to wives in the 1600s in Italy, I think. So she disguised it as like makeup products and stuff, and women didn't have a lot of rights back then. So to get out of the marriages, I know. Shock horror. So to get them out of these marriages, she'd sell poisons to these women, and so that they could like poison their husbands, but it'd be over like a few weeks, and the poison wouldn't get detected, so it just looked like the husband got seriously ill, and they died mysteriously. Her business was called Aqua Tofana. So fun history lesson.
Yeah, that was a totally naturalistic break until it wasn't a conversation we had in the first recording.
Not at all.
Hashtag girl boss. That's all I have to. That's all I have to say.
She made a killing, literally and figuratively.
Funny pun. At this point, actually, because then they go and talk to the priest. I thought it might have been him here.
Yeah.
So the episode did get me, if I'm honest. For all it's we go, oh, it was dead easy. And here I was like, maybe it was the priest. And I doubted my own memory.
I wasn't fooled.
No, you, as you keep saying, you got it in the first 15 minutes.
Thank you.
Oh, take a bow. But in this scene specifically, another talking point is a confession. If you were a priest, was my question? If you were a priest, a third time, if you were, I'm having a stroke. If you were a priest, no. I'm gonna try again. I can't talk.
Okay. If I was a priest.
If I was a boy. What's it? If I was a toy, or what is it? Smith's Toy Superstar.
Even just for a day. Oh God.
It's not funny. This doesn't even make good listening to. If you were a priest.
Yeah.
If you were a priest and someone confessed to murder, would you tell the police?
Oh god. I don't know, because like you've got confidentiality between the confessor and the confessee, so
I think morally, no. I think morally, and no, I just find it funny. I think morally, you have to tell the police.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking about it in like terms of like therapists, because like, well, they have to tell if like you've harmed someone or yourself, so they've got to notify someone that you've done that.
I know, but that's like doctor-patient confidentiality.
Yeah.
So that's like in law.
Yeah.
Where I was not sure if like it's the law for priests to because it's like the number one priest rule.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's more. No. The number one priest rule is like be kind or whatever.
I think.
Or thou shalt not kill.
Yeah. They've got to encourage the person to come forward with their information and say, I've done this, just so that they can be judged fairly by God in the afterlife. So I don't know how they would approach the situation if they don't come forward.
We then find out the secretary and the headmaster are sleeping together, which is my fourth note, in which she said she's been working at the school for 20 years, and I said they'd defo been sleeping together.
Yeah.
Was that a surprise to you?
Well, it's like cliche storyline in Death in Paradise, to be honest. Like four out of every 5. Well, 4 in 5 episodes have at least one affair storyline, so...
Do you think?
I think so.
Maybe we should keep track of that.
Maybe.
Charlie was sleeping with Mrs. Lavender, and Mr. Lavender was sleeping with an extra who had no lines.
Yep.
Then in episode 2... No, there was no affair in episode 2.
Yeah, this episode there was an affair.
Was there?
Yeah, because...
She's
completely light switched off. And the next episode, also an affair between...
I'm completely switched off. It's too late for this.
Oh my god, okay.
We're not even at the who the murderer is. I've lost where we are. Oh,
affairs.
The secretary and the headmaster are sleeping together.
Yeah. So that's 3, and then a 4th one in episode 4. No, that's 2. No, wait, what?
No one was having an affair. No.
There was an affair in episode 4.
Yeah, no, because that's when I killed her.
Yeah.
Killed him.
Episode 4. Then there's this one.
Okay, with her womanly wiles, yeah.
Episode 3, yeah. So it holds up so far.
Okay. Well, then we find out that Angelique actually visited the headmaster to accuse him of his own wife's murder, and if he didn't confess, he'd have a voodoo curse placed on him. Have you ever had a voodoo curse placed on you?
I can thankfully say that no, I have not. Have you?
No.
You got to think really hard.
No. Yeah, if I think really hard, I have to say I can't remember having a voodoo curse placed on me.
Maybe that was the voodoo curse that you wouldn't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember any affairs that happen on television.
After just talking about
them. Yeah, my voodoo curse is awful short-term memory.
Yeah. Oh god.
You know what conversation we forgot to have?
Which one?
Limes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we can have it
before we get to the end, we're going to talk about lime, because how he solves the case is he drinks some limes, and he says they taste like paint stripper.
Yeah. So that didn't.
We had this conversation. It was a very long conversation.
Yeah, very lengthy tangent about limes.
So, basically, Richard, throughout the episode, is like, why did he order so many limes to make his patio? And why are we ordering limes to make a patio?
Yeah, what is it? It's obviously, it can't be the fruit, so, like, what is lime?
No, but at the end of the episode, he solves it because he drinks a drink with lime in it, so it must be the fruit.
Yeah, so it doesn't make a lot of sense at all.
I'm confused.
Yeah, same.
The episode is like, oh yeah, of course, yeah, dissolve bodies with limes.
Yeah, just no. There's a lot lost in translation.
Yeah, it doesn't explain it well because
Yeah.
it's still at this point. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like limes?
Yeah, like what is lime?
No, because at the end he's like, this drink tastes like paint stripper. Do limes taste like paint stripper?
No. But then he also mentions it being a metallic substance as well, though. So
I'm
I
so
don't,
confused.
Yeah, I don't know.
About limes.
Yeah. Unless he...
Like, if limes are so dangerous, why aren't they locked in the cabinet?
Legit,
with the
though.
cyanide?
I know, yeah. Oh, I was thinking it might be the thing that you use to make soap, but that's a lie.
I'm going to Google what quicklime is.
Please do.
Quicklime is a limestone that has undergone a chemical change in a kiln, liberating it of all the carbon and water it holds, creating a very unstable material which needs to hydrate. Does lime, let's Google, does lime dissolve flesh? There we go.
Yeah.
Is quicklime made of lime? What
You mentioned
is lime?
limestone, so they might have just meant limestone and just neglected to
But he
mention...
drank... Oh, I'm dumb.
I think it's just because of the way they phrased it, because they just said, oh, you use lime, after he just had a drink with
Of
lime
limes
in it. So, and didn't mention anything about limestone, or he just called it lime, so it was a bit confusing.
So, it was revealed that Angelique was already dying. We saw evidence of medicine at her house, and she talked to the priest about the fact that she was having a coronary. The voodoo prophecy was the key. The only way she knew she'd be killed is if she did it herself, in order to frame Nicholas for her murder. She knew Dwayne was a police officer and put the show on for him. She also made her own poison, which she brought herself. Were you convinced?
Convinced by what?
Did you... I don't know, was it plausible? Did you believe it? Did it wrap up the episode?
Yeah, I was quite convinced by it, to be honest, I guess. I don't...
Did it wrap everything up for you?
Yeah.
Well, obviously it didn't wrap everything up because that is the first of 2 murders.
Yeah, that one came as a shock.
The
The second one.
It's also revealed that Dunham had killed his wife all those years ago, disposing of her body using the extra limes from his patio. Because, as we all know, quicklime can dissolve human flesh. Her body was being used as the classroom skeleton, which is very dark, actually, for a show I watched when I was 9.
Yeah. I've got in my notes here, Delilah's body put on display in the science classroom. Holy shit.
I know, that was pretty... I mean, he killed her because he demanded respect and loyalty.
Yeah.
And she was having an affair with the priest.
Yeah.
Did that wrap everything up for you?
Yeah, I was satisfied with the episode after that plot twist that Delilah was there the whole time.
I think it could have been. I think it could have been set up better.
Yeah.
Because we weren't. It was the start of the episode kind of mentioned the skeleton, and at least for me at that point, since I'd watched the episode, I remembered that it had something to do with the skeleton. But I don't know for you, having not seen it before.
I didn't pick up on it. No.
It felt like the skeleton should have been teed up more.
Yeah. The fact that they didn't mention the skeleton much, like I kind of forgot about the skeleton as like a concept that in the classroom.
Yeah, I mean the episode sets it up so you can solve Angelique's death.
Yeah.
But not really.
Yeah.
Not really the death of the Delilah.
Yeah, Delilah's murder comes like right out of left field almost. Like it's quite a shock.
Last episode there were 2 murders, but I think the way the episode worked. Actually, I don't know. Could you solve both of them? By the end of the ep, could you solve both of them?
I don't know. I know I didn't solve I don't. Who did
Yeah,
I
that's the thing.
suspect?
When an episode has 2 deaths in it, I think you should be able to solve both of the deaths before the end.
Mm.
And actually, looking back at it, I don't think you'd be able to solve them.
No, I'd have to like rewatch it to see if you get enough information to pinpoint
why don't we,
on the butler.
Yeah, why don't we rewatch that episode on this rewatch podcast? Yeah.
Yeah. Rewatch it.
Rewatch it. Also, we didn't find out how we killed her.
Yeah.
So I still have unanswered questions.
Yeah, just how.
I mean, it doesn't
how the body
matter,
was disposed of.
but it'd be nice to know.
Yeah.
Then everyone has a feast to celebrate catching the killer, and Catherine selflessly goes out of her way and cooks a roast dinner.
Just for Poole.
Just for Poole. And then they all say a prayer, and she sneaks in voodoo references for the last laugh.
Yeah.
Because she showed Richard. So then we all have a roast dinner. Do you like a roast?
Not in the summer. It's a bit of an effort.
Yes.
It's a bit of an effort to eat in the summer, but like in winter and stuff, like when you
Christmas.
Yeah, around Christmas.
I don't like chicken.
See, we used to do it as like a Sunday roast almost, but
That's too often.
Yeah.
For me, Sunday roast is too often.
No. It was like my dad's only time to cook was on the Sunday, so he just used to make Sunday roast all the time. So I got really sick of it. So I just I'm not having that. I'm making my own food, thanks though.
Yeah, so every Sunday is too often.
Yeah. So it wasn't.
I just prefer having mine after every murder I solve.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
How often's that?
It's once a week for 8 weeks in the month of Jan, at the start of every year. Anyway, that's the end of the episode. We can't really tell you what we think about next week because we've already recorded that.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
I did, yes. Out of 10.
Out of 10, I think we should. Out of 10, priest. If you were a priest. No.
You probably did say that about 10 times.
Limes.
I think you said limes.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's lost its charm now.
Yeah, no, it's lost its charm. It was funny the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I really enjoy in a podcast? When the hosts tell you it's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Record buttons.
Fine. If you had to rank this episode out of 10 record buttons, how many buttons would you give it?
I'd give it about 6. I think I gave it bonus points for wholesomeness.
Did you give it a 6 last time?
I did.
I can't remember what I gave. Last time
I think you said.
I believe I gave it a 7 because I said it convinced me that it was the priest.
Yeah.
However, taking longer to think about it now, I think I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like the stuff about Richard being so iffy about the voodoo.
Yeah, that was a bit.
But then I do love Catherine, and Catherine was great.
Catherine
was such a strong Catherine episode, and it did convince me that it was the priest. But overall, I don't think it set up Delilah's murder to be solved.
Yeah, a bit more background could have been put into Delilah's death.
Totally. But apart from that, I think it's a solid episode.
Yeah.
And even though it's a 6, I think so far it's been consistency.
Yeah.
It's had some really high highs.
Yeah.
But it's been consistent this first series.
Yeah, it's been really
so far.
Good so far. Yeah.
Next week for you guys, in the past for us, make sure you check out episode 4, which is about an affair. Oh, we should have done 10 out of 10 affairs.
Oh, no.
Oh, next time, because there will be another one.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
I can't believe we fully sat yesterday for an hour.
Oh, God.
And spoke. I mean, that doesn't sound weird. I can't believe we had a conversation for an hour and didn't record it.
Oh, I wanted to cry yesterday.